Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Rita Fleming. Thank you for being here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. And I wanted to just start by a grounding exercise to really bring our presence here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually share my screen with you. Okay, so go ahead and just take a deep breath. Can everyone see the screen? Awesome. Go ahead, take a deep breath, whether you're standing, whether you're sitting. Actually, see if you can roll onto the front of your sit bones, ground your feet, and see if you can lift your heart, lengthen your spine. And we just want to create an open-hearted space together today so we can grow, we can expand, we can learn, we can play, we can have a safe space. So you can close your eyes if you want to, your palms can be up, but just go ahead and find that equal pressure in your seat, in your right sit bone, and your left sit bone. And go ahead and reach down through your seat, through your sit bones. Imagine you're like a tree growing roots downward. And in reaching downwards, we can really ground, we can connect to our center. And as we reach downwards, we also find our strength, our foundation. And then it also allows us to extend upwards. So see if you can reach through your sit bones down towards the floor and then lengthen through your spine, through your heart, reach out the top of your head and extend upwards like branches growing up towards the sun. And now I invite you to lift that center sternum, that center heart, upwards and forwards at a 60-degree angle. Imagine that there's like a little string and hook connected to your sternum and it's lifting, reaching you upwards and forwards. And it actually takes a ton of strength in our spine, right? To open our hearts, to lift our sternum, to find that internal upliftment, that internal courage. And hopefully you're finding some strengthening and some toning happening all along your spine. And just keep going with that connection to your feet, the connection to your sit bones, the connection to the floor underneath you. And then that solid foundation, right? And then that expansion upwards. So open, broad and wide, spread your collarbones wide, spread your heart wide. And reach to the top of your head. Now inhale, take a deep breath. Inhale. Pause and hold your breath. And exhale. Pause and hold your breath on the exhalation. And come back to normal breathing. So thank you all for being here. I just wanted to open that space where we could ground and be present and connect together and open our hearts, right? It's actually a lot easier to learn when we have that strong posture, that strong spine, and get that circulation to our brain and our blood flow. So today we're talking about rediscovering your power, a woman's guide to unstoppable success. It's for men as well, but really love working with women. And we're going to be stepping into our authentic self, aligning with our purpose, our passions, and getting into massive action together towards creating a life that we love. So these are some of the things that we'll be covering, but a lot of you already know that. And about me, I've had the privilege and the joy of working with thousands of individuals and helping over 9,000 people to step into their purpose, their passion, their impact, and really transform their health and their wealth and create a life by design. So these are my passions. These are what I love helping people do. And I'm going to go ahead and share this quote. If you knew the unwavering commitment, sacrifice, and courage required to pursue one's dreams daily, you wouldn't be an adversary. You'd become the greatest advocate for yourself and others. So let's celebrate ourselves and those who dare to dream and support each other in our journeys. So that's kind of the intention of today, becoming our greatest advocate for ourselves and each other. And so my journey and passion for this really, it's been a lifelong journey, but in 2019, I was living down in Costa Rica in the Osa Peninsula, which is actually the most biodiverse place in the world. And it's teeming with life. There were little baby ocelots that would come and meet me in my kitchen in the morning, monkeys playing overhead. There was whales jumping 100 feet out my door and dolphins. It was ecstatic. There was amazing, beautiful flowers of every color and every smell and just fruit dripping off my trees, right? And you can't help but be in an environment that is teeming with so much life and not feel incredibly alive in every aspect, in all of your senses and your passions and your creativity. And it's actually proven that when you're in these biodiverse places, it impacts your gut, it impacts your mood, it impacts your biology, your creativity, your brain. And so I was sitting under these huge old growth canopy trees and I was working on my computer and I was like, how can I help more people feel this alive, feel this connected to their true self, to their passions? Because this is a birthright, right? Connecting to our joy, our true self, our health, it's a birthright. And I wanted to figure out a way that I could help people live that and that I could help myself live that sustainably. How could I create generational wealth to create that larger vision and bridge that gap and help others to do the same? So that was my prayer. And then a few months later, I found myself back in the States and I was attending my lovely sister's birth of her first baby boy. And I found myself working long hours, burning the stick at both ends, and working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. And I was like, how am I going to create this larger vision when I don't have time for myself, for my creativity, for my passions, or for my family and the people that I love? And when I'm working for other people's dreams, right? So again, put out another prayer of how I could create this larger vision. And luckily, that prayer was answered. And my sister did introduce a beautiful business partnership that was in total alignment with my passions and my values and integrity and really everything that I wanted to pursue and how to make a bigger impact in the world. And so within 6 months, I was able to quit those other jobs and I was able to make more than the average household income. And my health improved, my finances improved, and I also began to create that life of freedom and abundance, which was exciting. Finally felt like I had that option. But then, as I began to achieve my goals, I faced a new challenge and I came against my own internal ceiling. And this internal ceiling was my own fears and limiting beliefs and fear of success, fear of failure, fear of shining too bright, fear of reject, right? Raise your hand if you've ever experienced any of these things. And I realized that I started to backpedal and self-sabotage. Hi, Brenda. So good to see you. And I also realized that I had a long-standing pattern of not fully showing up in order to protect myself from disappointment, right? And we get a lot of our beliefs from ages 1 to 5. And so I'm curious, have you ever had days when you wanted to give up on your goals or when you were doing everything but nothing seemed to be working, when internal pressure rised and you felt like quitting would be easier than facing the discomfort of continuing? Has anyone ever been there? facing those, yeah, and it's usually an internal discomfort that comes as we're in our growth and as we're in our expansion. So I decided to invest in myself. Decided to take a leap of faith, and I did a year-long business coaching program with Tony Robbins. And within that time, after a matter of months, I was able to grow my business to six figures, which was a really big celebration for me. And over a year, I was able to grow my business by 196% and achieve a vision that had previously felt out of reach. And through that success, I was also able to really impact my family, my sister. We worked together and we were able to actually retire our mom together. It impacted my nephews. And I really envisioned a life where I could see my sister having the time and the freedom to pursue her passions and give her children the life that she wanted, right? And that quality of life. So that was a big value of mine that got to be fulfilled. And in the process, we were able to transform thousands of lives. And in that time, I learned a really valuable lesson that dedication, perseverance, courage, self compassion, and a willingness to really face our fears, we can achieve incredible things. And so that's why I'm so committed to helping others break through that ceiling, move to the other side of those fears with love, and create a life that's in alignment with your purpose, your passion, and your true self. So that's what we're going to be working on today. And these are the action steps that I took. This is the blueprint to living a purpose-driven life. And so we're going to go through the law of expansion and contraction, unpacking our limiting beliefs, aligning with our purpose, passion, and authentic self, and getting into massive action together. So drop a 5 if you're excited for that. And I'd love to hear in the chat and the comments, what personal limiting beliefs have you come up against, or what personal fears have you come up against? If you want to share, feel free to in the chat. Okay, so the law of expansion and contraction. We got to work on this a little bit already this morning, but go ahead and expand your arms nice and wide. Open your arms, your fingertips, your heart is opening. And just notice how you feel in your body. Maybe a smile starts to come across your face. Maybe your heart feels expansive. And what I've noticed is it's hard to be in a fearful state when we're in a state of expansion. And then go ahead and do the opposite and curl up, close your heart, sink your chest, drop your, just come into a state of contraction, be small. And in this state, it's easy to start overthinking, start getting into fear, start getting into anxiety. And then let's go back into that state of expansion because I want to end there. So open the heart, open the arms, and you're just inviting in abundance, joy, love. It's so much easier to receive in this state of expansion and also to trust in ourselves and find our courage. Okay. And so we're going to let our body lead, and that will impact our mind, our heart, and our emotions. So one of the ways we can find that confidence and that courage and that strength is actually through embodiment, through our internal posture. So we're going to be working on that today. And when you're in that state of expansion, your breath expands, your nervous system relaxes, you get into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. And that's where we're in that receptivity mode. Okay. And next we have facing your fears with loving kindness. So one of the things I realized is when I was coming up against my own fears, I didn't quite know what they were, but I realized I'd always just pushed them away and tried to avoid them. And instead I embraced them and held them like a small child that needed love. So I invite you to embrace any fears or any parts of yourself that are fearful or in anxiety or anything, just any parts of yourself that need love. I invite you to bring them in, hold them to your heart like a small child that needs love, that needs care, that needs tenderness. And when we start to embrace our fears with that tenderness, they start to melt. They start to melt out of our body. And then we're giving ourselves permission to cry our uncried tears. And that's really been a process for me the last couple of years, is crying uncried tears that I didn't even know were there, but that I had suppressed. And they get stored in our body, in our tissues, in our cells. And when we allow ourselves and give ourselves permission to feel, I kind of think of like a flower that is blossoming and blooming, and it's how resilient is a flower, right? It's soft, it's tender, has these beautiful petals, and yet it's strong and resilient and can sustain so much. So allow yourself to soften, allow yourself to embrace those feelings. And then we're going to work on unpacking our bags. And you will get a workbook with this. We're going to work on this one later, but I just want to introduce it to you. So, what are the beliefs that we're holding on to that are unintentionally limiting us from our greater vision and our purpose and our passion? So, I want you to go ahead and write down statements. I can't be wealthy because, if that's a belief, I can't make it because, why? I can't be healthy because, I lost my power because, I can't find love because, whatever it is to you that feels the most activating or sticky. And I have this picture of all the luggage that we're carrying, right? So as I was sharing, we pick up most of these beliefs from our lived experiences. And so many of them come from the ages of 1 to 5, right? So they're not actually our beliefs, and they're not actually real. So we can change our beliefs in any moment. So go ahead and start looking at what's in your luggage, looking at what's in your bags, and start unpacking them. And anything that is weighing you down, start to let it go, start to challenge it and question it. Because the second we challenge or question a belief, it starts to shift, it starts to change. They're very adaptable and malleable, as our brains are. And then as we start to let these beliefs go, there's a huge liberation that comes. And remember, these were not our beliefs in the first place, so you can give them back. Okay, and so I'm going to have you guys work on that more in depth in your workbook. The next one is facing your fears head on. So on one side of the paper, you write down all of your fears, your biggest fears. And then on the opposite side of the paper, you write down the solution to it. Well, if this fear happens, what is a solution? And you start to get into that creative problem solving. And again, when we're in that expansive state with the heart open, we are naturally in a creative problem solving state. And there truly is not one problem that cannot be solved with support or guidance or creativity. And so as you start to face your fears head on, right? Because so many times we just let them hide in the dark, linger in the side. It's like this scary paper tiger that isn't actually real, but it's dominating so many of our actions. And so if we can actually just look at these paper tigers head on, face them, write them down, and write down solutions, I promise you there isn't anything that we can't pivot, adjust, and overcome. And every single wall that I've run into or hurdle, it's actually helped to project me even further and farther, because it is increasing these pivots and these transformations. So it's really know that it's all a part of the process. Is hitting these roadblocks. It's an important part of the process. It's an important part of the problem solving. And we will work on that more. But today I really wanted to do some one-on-one coaching and live coaching. And I want to start doing that with aligning with your why and your purpose. So I'm curious, anyone raise your hand that would like to tap into your deeper purpose, your deeper calling, why you're here? Erica, yes. I'm gonna go ahead and come off mute if you can. I'll unmute you. Okay. Thank you so much for volunteering.
Yes, 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 yes.
So this is one of my favorite activities. I love doing this. I try and practice it as frequently as possible. And it's blue sky thinking. So we get to tap into your full imagination here and also step into that expansive state. So I'd love for you to play a game with me if you're open.
I'm open. I like games.
Yay. Go ahead and imagine that all of your bills are paid. You have 100% time freedom and financial freedom, full autonomy to do whatever you want to do. So again, there's no ceiling. Where are you living? What are you surrounded by? What's your house like? Go ahead and share that.
Um, I'm living in the house I'm living in.
Perfect. Beautiful. And also keep going with this expansion. What are you wearing? Who are you surrounded by? And what are you doing with your time now that you have complete freedom and autonomy? And who are you impacting?
Um, it's a very interesting question, Rita, because I actually just hit that milestone about a year ago.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes, having worked and worked and worked and worked. So, yeah, and that's where I am now. And so what am I doing? I am speaking, doing speaking engagements in my chosen field, which is working with older adults to learn their technology.
Mhm.
And I am working with others in my field of tech for people who didn't grow up with tech and making apps and such so that tech becomes easier for what I might call the lost tech generation.
Okay. And why is that important to you?
It's important to me because it fills a legacy for me. Um, my mother and I had a very fraught relationship our whole lives together, except maybe when I was a little girl. And I was always trying to outdo her. Um, and I ended up leaving my husband of 25 years and living at her house for 4 months. And at that time, she really wanted to learn how to use her computer. And I've been working with computers since I was 16, so that's my bailiwick. And I was able to help her. And in that process, I realized, wow, if I can help my mother, I can help a lot of people.
Mm.
So why is to help and serve a lot of people and bring joy. I'm a 50-50 girl. I'm 50% nature girl and I'm 50% tech girl. So to bring in embodiment to what is thought of as a non-personal world.
Oh, beautiful. And why is that important to you?
Um, it's important to me because I've always been embodied. I came onto the planet embodied. And through certain circumstances, I'll just say, I shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. And um, I'm not in that place anymore. I'm in expansion. So it's important to me to be in company with other people that want to increase capacity. And why is that important? Because our society needs it, in my opinion. Our
Mm.
society needs to be a lot more embodied and a lot more on track with how we as human beings are vulnerable and human and connect. We need connection. We can't do it alone.
Oh, I love that. Um, why is supporting that vulnerability and that connection and that embodiment so important to you and helping others to do the same?
Um, it's a healing process for me.
Mm.
Um, I know I have a really deep wound from being a little child and have always taken breadcrumbs or not breadcrumbs of attention and kind of let myself go to the curb, as it were, until I kind of wake up again. And that part of my inner self has been very difficult. And if I can make any impact on anyone who has had that similar experience, um, I have done my calling.
Oof, beautiful. And summarizing that, how does that look in helping people as far as being seen and heard and not taking those breadcrumbs? What does that look and feel like to you?
It looks like, again, in this season that I lean into, as you were talking about, I lean into the conflicts and the places where I would normally, up till now, would just run away. I would quit that first piece. That's me all over. I'll just quit. That's easier. And instead of quitting, I'm leaning into it and I'm feeling it. And I like when there's a fear, there's a solution. And for older adults, the anxiety and discomfort of using a technology um, is daunting, really daunting. And I'd say the other why in that is that I'm a baby of the baby boomers. Like I'm right on the cusp of being the youngest of baby boomers. So much to offer society. And we need to gather that. We need to expand that. We need the wisdom that
Right.
is out there. And if they can use technology, then they can put more wisdom out too.
How beautiful. What an amazing way to connect with people, right? I wouldn't have thought of that bridge of helping baby boomers move through anxiety and technology to share their wisdom, to bring that deeper connection, to build more community, essentially.
Yeah.
I love that. And what does this community look like to you that you are building, this space that you're building, this
Yeah,
impact?
I actually really loved how you were using the image of a tree, to ground ourselves. And I'm like, wait, I'm an old tree. Like, I have a lot of roots. I've had some branches cut off, but man, my roots are deep. So it looks like a community of old trees,
Mhm.
communicating under the ground. If you've, watched any of those movies and, that whole communication system that we are all sentient beings, any of us that have matter flowing through us and are animate. Um, so it looks like groupings and groupings of those kinds of people.
Whoa, I love that imagery. That's really powerful imagery. And you're right, like all of the trees have that internal or down underneath the soil communication network. So you're building that, you're restoring that in it
Yes,
and restoring your own healing in the process and the healing with your mom in the process. Is that right?
correct.
And yeah, helping others to do the same. That's profound.
Thank you. I'll receive that. It's one of the things I'm working on.
Beautiful. Well, does that give you a little bit more clarity around your languaging, your mission, your purpose, your connection, the impact that you want to make?
Absolutely. A lot more clarity, actually, just using that imagery alone.
Yeah.
Um, a lot more clarity.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
One more question. Now that you're living this and fully embody it, fully embody this impact, this legacy, this healing, this bringing of community together, this healing of exposing ourselves and being vulnerable and no longer taking the breadcrumbs, right? And shining. and being that role model and helping others to do the same.
Yes.
How does that feel in your body? Who have you become now that you're helping people in this way?
Um, the way I'd verbalize it is I have become a outer version of my soul.
Ooh, how cool.
Just shining that light of who I am. And that doesn't mean that I don't get disappointed and I don't have
Yeah.
difficulties. It means that I know how to do that. And that's when you say, what space am I living in? I'm living in that continuous space.
Mm, powerful, powerful. And do you feel this in your body or do you feel it in your heart? Where do you feel it in your body?
Yeah, I feel it. Actually, the whole idea of that plumb line, to the sternum, opening our hearts up this way, that's where I feel it. I feel it coming out from my heart out and then in a 360, expansion.
Phew. Yes. I would love to invite you just to squeeze your hand, your right hand, and close your eyes and just feel these feelings, this embodiment, this 360-degree expansion, this heart opening, this purpose, this message that's coming through you, and just really ground it into your body so that you can call upon it in any moment. Yay. Awesome. Thank you. I love
Thank
it. I love
you.
purpose. I love your mission. And I invite you to keep exploring that because it continues to deepen. So keep asking yourself these questions. Why does it matter? Okay, that's important, but why does that matter? Okay, that's interesting, but why does that matter? And going deeper and deeper, 7+ layers deep. So
Yes.
thank
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your share. Round of applause, Erica, for opening up for all of us. And I don't know if anyone else can feel this, but when one person comes into their alignment and their connection and their purpose and their power, doesn't it help all of us? Does anyone else feel more connected? Yeah. And that is a beautiful example of how we all are connected, or we are that underground network, right? So keep shining because that is already making a huge impact. So thank you. Awesome, you guys. Fun. So drop a one if that was helpful for you, even just connecting to that purpose, that passion, and maybe it connected you a little bit more to yours as well. So the next thing we're going to do is get into massive action. And RPM is something that I learned from Tony Robbins, and I do it pretty much on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. I do it for any project. I do it to really to create that vision, that dream, that goal. So this is where we'll need our journals. Go ahead and take them on out. And we're gonna start by drawing these two lines in our journal. So I'll show you my screen as well. Just drawing two lines on your page. And that is gonna create 3 columns. And the very center column at the top, I want you to write result. So this is the result or outcome you want to create. And it can be a goal for today. Like, what is the most important thing that I want to create today? Or it can be this week. What is the most important thing I need to get done in my business or whatever it may be, or my health goal? Um, but it's a SMART goal. So it's specific and it's measurable. So, for example, I'd love to impact 5 people by Friday at 5 p.m. with my message or my offering. That can be an example of a business one. So go ahead and everyone, what is most pertinent to you? What is the goal that is like jumping out at you that you'd love to, that you'd love to create an impact? What outcome would you like? And we're going to do this on our own, and then I'll bring somebody in to do it together. Okay. So once you have your goal, it's specific, it's quantifiable, it's measurable. And if it's a health goal, here's an example. I'd like to work out 4 times a day, or it's not 4 times a day, 4 times a week for at least a half an hour by 5 p.m. at night. Just put some parameters around it so it's achievable. And you want it to be realistic. And now we're going to jump into the purpose why of that. So go ahead and in that right-hand column, put purpose. And now I want you to imagine that you have achieved your goal. It's done, it's completed, it's that date and time. How does it feel in your body, in your physical body, now that you have completed this goal? And how does it impact your emotions? What emotions are you experiencing now that you have achieved this, you've completed it, it's done? And what about your mindset? Who have you become now that you have done this? Go ahead and just write down whatever comes to your mind, to your heart. Now, who have you impacted now that you've completed this goal? And why is this goal important to you? Why does it matter? Okay. And then staying in the embodiment, the physical sensations, maybe there's a lightness, a tingling, an open-heartedness of you achieving that, feeling into the emotions, the mindset of it, of who you've become now that you've achieved it. Go ahead and hop over to the left side of your page, which is your MAP, your map. That is your massive action plan. So in that embodiment, go ahead and write down 3 to 5 action steps that you're going to take to make your goal a reality. And next to each action step, just go ahead and put how much time you think it will take you to do that action step. Could be 15 minutes, could be an hour, however much time you think. And then the final step will be actually putting those little action steps into your calendar so that you're making the time and the space to do it. because it's not real unless it's in your calendar. It does not exist unless it's in your calendar. And then the final step, and we are going to do this together, but I wanted everybody to get a chance to process. Final step, circle your result outcome. Because that is your target, that is your aim, that is your purpose until now and the date that you scheduled. And it's your target. So that you're just going to circle it. And I want you to put this somewhere that you'll see it on a daily basis or until that goal is achieved, whether it's your mirror or your desk or your computer, but where you can look on it and reflect on it. And now, thank you guys for participating in that. I want to again have a volunteer. Does anyone have a goal that you'd really love to work towards? It can be any goal. Kelly, yes.
So I'd like to enroll 5 people in my 12-week transformative program, Reclaim Your Body, Reclaim Your Life, by September 20th.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. By September 20th?
Mhm.
And by what time on the 20th?
Oh, wow.
Five
I didn't get specific enough. Thank you. By 5 o'clock.
o'clock. It's really fun when we get super specific because we can 100% achieve it. And it just gives us actually more momentum to achieve it.
Makes sense.
Okay. And that feels like an achievable goal. Does that feel achievable to you?
I guess if I'm honest, it feels like a little bit of a stretch.
Great. That's good. We want to stretch. We just want it to be in the realm of our possibility, which everything is. It's just, we want it achievable. I love it. Okay, so, and you're welcome to stand up for this piece if you'd like. I invite you to stand up. Okay, go ahead. Take a nice deep breath. Stand nice and tall. Imagine it is September 20th. It is 5 p.m. You have enrolled 5 beautiful souls into your transformation program. How does it feel in your body?
It feels expansive, but it also brings up uncried tears, and it brings up uncried tears. I don't know if that's a but.
Yeah, beautiful. And what other sensations are you noticing in your body and where?
I'm noticing the weight distribution in my feet. Interesting, like there's more weight on the inside edge of my right foot and outside edge of my left foot.
Good awareness.
I'm noticing a little bit of, I'm not even sure a good word to describe it, but at my solar plexus or sternum breastbone, it's not necessarily tightness and constriction, but it's also not as expansive as the rest of my body.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's little pieces of tightness, like little, like marbling maybe.
Good awareness. Again, awareness is how we shift and transform things. So beautiful. And keep in that embodiment that it's September 20th, it's 5 p.m. What was the name of your transformation program, Kelly?
Reclaim your body, reclaim your life.
Ooh. And now that you have 5 people enrolled in this, what impact are you making on their lives?
I'm helping them get out of pain, trust their bodies more, enjoy their life more, like pick up their grandkids without hurting their back or their fur babies, or garden without later being in pain.
Love that. And who have you become now that you have helped these 5 people?
I've become a healer.
You're becoming what?
A healer?
Oh, beautiful. Okay. And who else have you become now that you've helped these 5 people in this way in your program?
Uh, a champion of their success, their better life.
Beautiful. I love it. And what's your mindset now that you've helped these people? Some thoughts.
Uh, both empowered and humbled.
Mm. Mm. I love that. Amazing. And is there anything else you want to share that's coming up for you in your feeling state, mental state, or emotional state of creating this impact of this goal already achieved?
A little puzzled at how much emotion, how much uncried tears. It seems though like that heart area or sternum area that felt like it was marbled is open more. There's
Mm.
less of those lines or fissure points, or I don't know how to describe them.
Opening. And do those uncried tears have a message or anything to share?
It is possible. I'm capable. I've done it before. I need to trust myself that I can do it again.
Mm. Beautiful. Anything else those tears are saying?
I, aside from it's okay, I don't think so.
Okay, beautiful. Those tears are beautiful because it shows how much you care, right? Great. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
Appreciate,
you.
yeah, appreciate that way to get there and go into that full embodiment. And thank you for sharing your tears. Yeah, and I just want to read back a couple of these things to you so you can jot them down.
Thanks.
Okay. And you'll put this in the purpose column.
All right.
I feel expansive. I'm helping people get out of pain and trust their bodies and pursue their passions.
Mhm.
I'm a healer. I'm a champion of their success.
Yeah.
I feel empowered and humbled. It's possible. I'm capable. I trust myself. I've done it before and I can do it again. Beautiful. So when we're doing this practice, we're actually stepping into the embodiment of who we're becoming in achieving this. And when we work from that place, that embodied place of humility, expansion, all those things that you're sharing, that's starting to open in your chest? Do you feel that you can come back to these embodiment pieces, those uncried tears, right? Releasing those. So we can step into that embodiment. And that is actually how we create our dreams, our goals, our reality, is getting into that embodiment as though it's already done. Those feelings and sensations. And from that place, Kelly, I invite you to do those 3 to 5 action steps.
So when you say from that place, you mean like go through this process for myself again, and when I'm in the kind of state I'm in now, do those steps. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you can do them right now too, just staying in that embodied place of it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I do see that we are coming up to the top of the hour, so I really want to open it up for takeaways, reflections, golden nuggets. I would love for everyone to be able to share your voice, your thoughts, your takeaways on this process and what landed for you, or what was one nugget that you needed to hear. And thank you, Kelly, for doing that with us. Sarah Rose, hi, honey.
Hi, Rita. You look beautiful today.
Thank you. Great to see you, love.
Yes, you too. I this was so great. I'm so glad Michelle just invited me to hop on while I'm on my cross country trip, and I was using the RPM method that you showed us at the beginning of last month, like every day leading up to preparing to move, and just manage everything, manage my business, manage ensuring I was going to create enough money from all areas, like to make this happen. And like for the first time in my life, I realized I like took all my belongings and every single thing, like left no trace from where I was moving to. And it was like wildly intense in so many ways that I wasn't really thinking about, like leading up to it. And that process just like helped immensely, as I was moving into the unknown, and it had so many things floating around that I was like moving towards. I even started every day and I wrote, or I like lit a candle and I did like a sage smudging, and then I did that like first thing on the side of my bed. And it is magic. Like I'm so grateful, and it was so powerful to witness everyone on this call doing that, and even like bringing in other aspects of it that I forgot or I was unaware of. And it's just so grateful for that, and am a testament to what it can create. This trip so far has been like magical beyond words. Like I'm just filled with such abundant gratitude for everything. Like I just feel that something amazing is like coming ahead, because this like runway has already been so amazing. So much love, and thanks for letting me share. Love you so much.
Love you, Sarah. Thanks for sharing while on your road trip, and congratulations, and way to apply, right? And this is a process that we can even get into even like 5 minutes a day, and it will save you so much time because it gets to the root and the core of the result you want to create, and then gets you in alignment. So thank you. I love it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else? I would love to hear more voices and takeaways.
I could share if that's okay.
I mean,
First of all, I want to say that it's very inspiring to witness others stepping into their power, having already achieved that and done, and just seeing that is really good for me. And actually through this process, I had a surprise personally of realizing how I have all these goals and all these big things I want to do. But when I was doing this, I realized that I've been having trouble sleeping, as you know, for years. And I realize that that's the most important thing for me. Like, I don't need to do all this other stuff. Like, I probably need to like actually retreat. And so that, like, the clarity means so much to me. So thank you.
Yay.
Yeah.
Way to prioritize yourself. That is most important. Congratulations.
Mhm.
Yay. I love that breakthrough for you. Thank you, Rhea. Anyone else want to share any takeaways or thoughts? Awesome. And feel free to share in the chat. Seeing lots of, let me just catch up here on these. Great. Thank you guys so much. And I'd love to hear, how you'd like to apply this and how this can impact your life. So go ahead and share in the comments or the chats. And thank you all so much for being here. I really want to honor everyone's time. But I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here. And again, thanks for everyone who volunteered and shared with us. So awesome. Thank you guys. Enjoy your day. And we will talk soon. And I'll see you all. So thanks, Miriam, for being here. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Steph. You guys can come off mute and share. And say,
Great job, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
thanks, Steph.
Thanks, Rita. Always.
Rita, lovely.
Amazing job, Rita.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rita, so much. And wow, I mean, I can't believe everything I just got done in an hour. And after you coached me, and now I'm like, oh, look, there it is.
Yeah, now you have your map, right?
I do. Yeah.
Rita, I've done this with you before, and it's so uplifting. And I just want to share with Erica and Kelly that when I listened to their path that they outlined, I thought that's a home run. That could happen yesterday. And it made me feel really good because I've seen this work. And thank you, Rita, for this gift.
My pleasure. Thank you, Steph, for being here. Appreciate your presence so much. Yay, so fun to do this work together. And honestly, it is more powerful in community when we can witness each other in our breakthroughs and when we can also be vulnerable and do it in front of others, which isn't always easy. But stepping into that. So awesome. Appreciate it. Francisca, so good to see you. Awesome. Yay. Enjoy your day, you guys. And I look forward to connecting more after this. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be sending out a replay as well as a little workbook that can go with it. And if anybody wants to learn more of the platform that I use that really allowed me to create that time, health, and financial freedom, I'm happy to send you information. You can fill out a form to learn about it. So thank you guys. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Yay.
Bye.